All right, today we're going to discuss the new mind-body science of depression. Sounds interesting. This is 2017, so it's relatively new, which is always a good thing, especially when we're talking about science. Things change over. Scientists prove and disprove each other all the time. Okay, we got 13 chapters. Let me go over them. Does major depression exist, or why the diagnostic rule book is mostly wrong? Okay. Building a new phenomenology of depression where genes and environment meet. Okay. Environmental adversity, loss of evolutionary fitness, and the development of MDD. I like this one, right? Okay, number 4, the genetics of major depression disorder. Oh, that's MDD. I get it now. Major depressive disorder. Okay. Number 5, depression in the brain-body dance. Roles of neuron doctrine, autonomic, and immune pathways. That's also another one. I like that one as well. Chapter 5 and 3 so far, pulling my mind. Number 6, the immune system. Relationships with the stress system and major depression. I've never even thought about having the immune system and depression together, but I guess depression could be categorized as a sickness, maybe? That's where they're getting at. Next, number 7, neuroplastic, inflammatory, and cellular changes in depression. That's another interesting one. 8, functional and structural brain changes. In depression. This whole book is. There's only 13 chapters. I'm like, this one. Hold on, I think there's only 3 of them I didn't like. Number 9, changes in neurotransmission and subcellular function in depression, or the secret of the Shogun's box. Oh, we got to read that one. That's what we're doing. The secret of the Shogun's box. That's, of course, we're doing that one. Okay. 10, pathogen, host defense, and the evolution of depression and its risk genes. Okay. And then we got the case of Mary, the case of Anna, and the case of Thomas. But let's see what this Shogun's box is, or Shoguns. I kind of like the environmental adversity, loss of evolutionary fitness, and genetic, and the development of MDD. I like that one. But we'll see what the secret he's talking about. So 389. This book looks like it has a lot of technical mumbo jumbo. Oh, man. So, I might not be able to understand half of this stuff, so just bear with me. Okay, changes in neurotransmission and subcellular function in depression, or the secret of the Shogun's box. When Joseph Schildkraut published his seminal review of evidence supporting the monoethylene hypothesis of depression in 1965, little was known about extraneuronal monoethylene transport glia monoethylene receptors, or the role of monoethylene in regulating glutamate gamma aminosabutyric acid, GABA, inflammatory and neurotropic signaling. Unfortunately, the last 2 papers published by Schildkraut and his co-authors received much less attention. In these 2 papers, published in 2004 and 2008, that was, obviously that was 35 years later. Schildkraut and John Mooney brought to our attention a very important discovery. They proposed several steps in the mechanisms of action of despertine, DMI. Before this, the initial rise in the sympathetic levels of norepinephrine and E had been attributed to the DMI antagonism of the NE transporter. Whoa. I don't know what they're talking about. Right. Yeah, it's a little advanced for me right now. Maybe you have to start from chapter 1, understand what he's talking about. But this is, I mean, so far it kind of seems interesting. If I knew what the hell he was talking about. Let's try 58. Let's see if we have a little bit more luck. Okay. Okay, this is amazing. There's not so many little words, I don't know what they are. All right. Environmental adversity, loss of evolutionary fitness, and the development of MDD. I think we can make it through like 4 chapters with me being able to pronunciate the word. So, or 4 paragraphs. It's going to be awesome. All right, paragraph 1. Let's see if we can do it. Genetic low mood and relative negative affect have been shaped to deal with unpreposterous situations, and natural selection has partially differentiated several negative effects to deal with different kinds of unpropitious situations. Randolph M. Nisi is Depression and Adaptation in 2000. Okay. Give me about a C plus on that paragraph. On the next one, it says Blorkowski's response to Collin's expulsion in Animal House. Over? Did you say over? Nothing is over until we decide it is. Was it over when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor? Hell no. And it ain't over now. Because when the going gets tough, the tough get going. Who's with me? Let's go. Come on. Actually, I remember that part of the movie. The contrast between our lack of knowledge regarding genetic causes and our certainty regarding environmental causes of major depressive disorder, MDD, could hardly be more striking. Given our ignorance in so many other areas, you would think that our firm grasp of environmental causality would have been widely trumped within the world of mental health research and a cause for much celebration. In fact, the opposite is true. Half a century worth of consistent findings are usually given little more than a passing nod. Maybe it just seems so obvious to us now that stress causes depression that it hardly seems worth a comment. But nothing could be further from the truth. It is remarkable that stress causes depression for several reasons. Oh, man. I'm glad we did read on because this is starting to get interesting, right? The other hemoglobins and jiba da boo doo huda huda hada hada boo boo boo. I didn't know what they were talking about. But this makes a little sense. First, most of us use the word stress as a shorthanded for situations that challenge our well-being in one way or another. These situations are usually best handled with a clear head, an energetic body, and a calm heart. That's very true. One would think, therefore, that evolutionary processes might have selected for genes that promote these types of responses to stress under the rubric of survival of the fittest, rather than the responses we are so often observe in humans. Oh, let's read that again. One would think, therefore, that evolutionary processes might have selected for genes that promote these types of responses to stress under the rubric of survival of the fittest, right? So I'm guessing it's meaning like you would think we would handle stress in a much different way than the way that we do. Go ahead. Rather than the responses we so often observe in humans. For every take charge Bluto Borkowski in Animal House, there must be hundreds of real-life John Belushis, the actor who played Budo, who respond to stress with fear, despair, paralysis, or various detrimental escape strategies, such as drugs and alcohol. Why should stress so reliably produce emotions, thoughts, and behaviors that seem so counterproductive? Bow! Whoa! Mind-blowing. That's awesome. I like this. Consider an analogy. Would you not find it odd if the heart responded to running for one's life by slowing down? The heart speeds up when you run because you need extra blood supply, extra oxygen. Why doesn't the brain respond to psychological stressors with similarity response, survival promoting strategy? I've gone too far, but I like this. This is very interesting. That does pose a good question. Like if you have to, if you're in a very stressful situation, you got to run. Your body goes into hyperdrive to make you survive. But then on the other ones, it like basically what he said, like we escapes, like our fear, despair, paralysis, or various detrimental escapes, such as drugs and alcohol. Why should stress so reliably produce emotions, thoughts, and behaviors that seem so counterproductive, right? That is very, because all that stuff right there is going to make the situation worse, not better, right? Consider analogy. Would you not find it odd if the heart responded to running for one's life by slowing down, right? That's when you're trying to escape, you should be at a heightened sense of your abilities, not at a lessened sense of your abilities. So when you're dealing with different stresses or with fear, wow, like when you're dealing with stress, you respond with fear, despair, paralysis, various different, like basically you're screwed. But if you're running for your life, your instinct switches on, right? Your amygdala, and you just take off. Your heart rate increases, and to provide more blood and oxygen to you, so that you can run longer and faster in a short period of time to save your life. But in a stressful situation, it's counterproductive what it does, because your mind shuts down, and you, with fear, despair, and paralysis, it's like deer in the headlights. Boom, I like this. I knew maybe the end was a little bit too advanced for me, but the beginning was not. I get it. I understand it all.